Hello my dears, this is Sarah from SheHoldsDearly.com, and today I'm going to give you an update on our master bedroom. So a while back, I'd done a blog post and I shared my plans, I had a mood board and everything, and showed you what my vision was for this space. And while I have done several of those things, there were some design issues that we were having, and so I have veered from my original course a little bit, which is normal. And also, I'm just still not finished. So that's a very common issue in, I think, everyone's lives trying to get their decorating done. There's just life that happens and you get interrupted, right? So I am so excited to be focusing on this in 2020, and I just want to give you an updated tour and also talk about what my new goals are going to be for 2020 with this room. And I think we could wrap this room up pretty soon. Okay, so this room used to be 2 rooms. I'm told by the original owners, the room in the back side of this room was the mother's sewing room, which is kind of sweet. Someone had taken out the wall that was dividing the 2 rooms before we came on the scene. I'm not sure if it was done in the 50s or when, but the house was built in 1906. And there was a chimney that was coming up through the middle of the room. We had to dismantle that and patch the wood floor and redo all the electrical and of course drywall and painting. That almost brings us up to where we are today. But there's been a lot of other decorating changes since that blog post that I wrote a while back. One of the things I love about this room being 2 rooms originally is that when the previous owners turned it into 1, it left me with 3 closets, which is kind of fun and rare in an old house. So we ended up using the 2 that are just nicely balanced symmetrically in the room, 1 for myself, 1 for my husband, and then that left this 3rd one over here, which has been really fun. I ended up turning it into my office, so I'll show the blog post for that. We just ended up shiplapping this back wall and found a desk on Craigslist that would fit in here perfectly. I have my printer back here in the corner. There was an outlet, yay. So I can charge my laptop, I have my lamp, and then back inside here are a little bit of storage space for files and things. And then for the other 2 closets, there was a long time that I didn't have doors on them, and it really bothered me. You know how you have like your top 3 things in your house that just drive you nuts? It almost was to the point where it was actually hard for me to sleep in this room because it just felt so cluttered, being able to see everything in the closets. So, and one of our problems was that my husband and I couldn't come to an agreement on how to fix the closet door, on the style we wanted. So that is always a holdup, right? We ended up deciding on this really simple like shaker style look, and we bought some bifold doors off Craigslist and just added trim, added knobs, and lined them up so they almost look like, the way the knobs are, it almost looks like there's like a row of lockers. That was kind of the look we were going for. So there's a whole video on that and a blog post if you're interested. That's been a very popular blog post, like one of people's favorites, is the bifold closet door makeover. So from the time we moved in and had to re-sheetrock and everything because we re-changed all the electrical in here. Then now the walls have been through 3 different colors, actually 4. Okay, so they were first tan, and then they were forest green, and then they were light blue, and then they're white. This is the Silos white from the Magnolia line, and it really does well with the huge windows in this room, and I love it. I know it's gonna stay around for a long time. It's warm enough that it doesn't feel cold. There's some type of a like creamy undertone to it that I really love, and it looks fantastic with the 7 big windows in this room. So great paint color as a side note if you're looking for a good white. Okay, so then for a long time I used this piece of furniture actually for my nightstand, but we found a cool old little cabinet on Craigslist, and I wanted to upcycle it and make it look like a faux card catalog. And there is a video for that you can watch. I'm super happy with it. There's 2 paint colors on it so that as I sanded it, I could get a couple different layers and tones going on. There's a magnolia green from the Magnolia line. And then there's the top color is the Miss Mustard Seed Boxwood. I know I'm gonna get questions about that. People love that color. So Miss Mustard Seed, her milk paint, it's Boxwood. I think that's their only dark green, so it'll be easy to find if you want that color. Okay, then we updated the mantle. Again, we found this on Craigslist. You're kind of seeing a theme here. And I simplified it. I took off the corbels and had to cut it down. It was too deep, so we cut down the whole, we had to actually dismantle it and cut each section down by like 4 inches, reassemble it, paint it white. I have this fabulous insert that was like 330 bucks and is just a cute little electric fireplace that does the job, and it actually keeps our room warm. It's the only heat in this room, and so it's been perfect. Like perfect ambience, perfect heat. And if you're looking for something like that, our room again is 15 feet by 20. It very easily handles that heat requirement, so I'll link that for you guys. If you look at the old post, you'll see that I had a really nice sleigh bed with like leather upholstered panels on the headboard and footboard. And it was my dream bed for many years. I loved it. I still do like it. I was getting tired of the brown. It was more of a Tuscany feel, which was like popular like 10 years ago. And so I ended up just taking that down. I bought a simple wrought iron bed off Wayfair, and just on a whim, I think my husband was like out of town, and I'm like, I'm just gonna surprise him, like switch up the room, right? So the kids and I moved the bed over underneath this big chandelier, and he came home and he was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Like he loved having a separate like sitting area. And then of course our table was moved downstairs and now it's our dining room table, but it has stayed. I'm not 100% thrilled with the layout because I don't like that heavy chandelier hanging over me while I'm sleeping. But it is bolted to the rafters and it would take a major earthquake to come down. And if it comes down, the roof has already come down. So there's that. I'm in trouble anyway. That's my complaint with those current layout, and someday, because I like to switch things around so much, I probably will switch the bed back over to the original spot where we saw the sleigh bed, but for now it's good. I ended up not remaking the bed, and I still might go back to it. I'm gonna list it on Craigslist, but if I can't sell it, I'll probably keep it and try to redo it. I thought about like painting it cream and then reupholstering the leather parts in linen, but I chickened out. I just felt like it was so perfectly done. It was a very expensive bed, and I just thought I don't have the upholstery skills to get this right, and I wasn't sure I wanted to pay for it yet. So we'll see what happens with that bed frame. There's 2 more things we got done. We painted a set of lamps that I got at a garage sale, and I wanted them to look like wood. And so I like made up this technique and did 4 layers of paint, and I feel like they look like wood. I also painted the lampshades black, and then I switched out the curtains. So I found some really great linen curtains at IKEA, but they ended up looking too yellow in this room, and it was proved to be really tricky to get them to the right shade of white that I wanted. I ended up writing a blog post on that process, how to get these IKEA linen curtains to look pure white, but we did it. And then I added some tassel trim on the edge, so it just has that really beautiful European look that I love so much. So that's what we've done to date. Now let's talk about what I want to get done here in the next couple months. I actually, ironically, ended up thinking that the mantle looked too plain once I took off the corbels. Now my husband hasn't said anything, but he doesn't like it when I do stuff like that. Like have him do things and then come back and go, it's still not right. Let's put something back on there. So I have a video coming soon with my solution for how to dress up a plain looking mantle, make it look more vintage and European. So I hope to get that done soon. And then there's a mirror next to it. I got this at Costco years ago, and it's too dark, I think. I haven't quite figured out what color I'm gonna paint the frame. So actually, if you have ideas in the comments below, let me know what you think. I'm open to ideas, but that is going to be changing soon. And then I had our Christmas tree in this room right by that mirror, and I've loved seeing greenery reflected in the mirror, and so I'm probably going to find maybe like a large olive tree topiary that I can set just kind of in front of that mirror. I think they look really good together. You'll notice that I did move that faux card catalog over to our little seating area, which means I don't have a good nightstand. I have a steamer trunk there right now, but it's too low and it actually is like blocking the walkway for me to get into my bed. So I've got some ideas. I want something probably marble topped, and I need to find, I'm gonna probably hit the antique stores and see what I can find for that. So a solution for a nightstand for myself, and then I wanna paint my husband's white. I want to beef up our bedding and make it look more luxurious. So bring in more pillows and more textures and layers. And so we'll be talking about that soon. The chandelier that is hanging over the bed, I am not excited about the brass. And so I've got some ideas. I'm thinking I'm actually gonna do the same technique I did on the lamps and make it look wood, and then add some crystals. And then I have 2 more things I wanna get done. This desk, you might be noticing that I am shying away from the darker wood. And I'm thinking that this would look good with not the drawers painted, but the actual frame painted with a chalk paint black. And there's like a watercoloring technique that I want so that it's not solid black. You actually see a little bit of the dark shining through, peeking through. So that's on the agenda. And then last but not least, we were given this really cool old armoire by my husband's grandma. And I actually normally would not gravitate towards a piece like this, but it fit exactly where I wanted it, between these 2 windows. And then I thought, you know what, it will visually balance out those gray closet doors if I paint it the same gray. So some tall gray pieces on both sides of the room. That will be getting done too, I hope. Not really too hard to finish this thing out, but I do need to focus for the next couple months, and I'm gonna take you along for all the details. So thank you so much for following along. I know this was kind of a long video, but it's so fun to share this with people that understand why we continue to work so hard on our homes, and I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you so much for stopping by. And before you go, if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I do post regularly, and I share my professional design advice and our vintage home life. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.